copy of the same demo 13. I call it demo 14, and that's gonna be for receiving this time. We'll change the name here. And open it up and change it also here. Rename. Rename. Okay. So now instead of having all this delay and stuff here, in fact, I'm going to get rid of the delay for now. So remove those delays. I'm not going to use them. GPIO doesn't want to get recognized for some reason. Oh, the GPIO has its own, the wrong header. Yeah, so make sure the GPIO gets corrected. I'm going to have to correct it. It should include STM32G0B1, not 31. Okay, this delay is going to get removed. Okay, this line that we had, this is going to still transmit an H at the beginning, but I'm not going to do it here anymore. So this is going to be check if a character has been received. Okay? And what I'm going to do is like, if the character has been received, it gets received, right? And sorry. And then if that is the case, I'm going to transmit back the same character. So in order to save the character, I'm going to declare here a uint 8_t. Call this one data. Okay. In data, obviously, how can I receive this? Well, in this case, I need to read the received data register, right? The RDR. See, now I'm not writing as before to the transmit data register. I'm reading the received data register and I'm putting that into data, into my variable data that I just declared here. Okay? Now, can I just do that?
Sorry, catching up.
Or do you think I need to pull some sort of flag or something, just like I did for the transmitting?
I need to call a flag.
Well, if you go to the lesson, it's very straightforward. So for transmitting, wait for this flag in the ISR to be set to receive a character. When a byte has been received and is ready to be read, this flag in the ISR register gets set. Okay, the receiving flag. Instead of a TX FNF is a RX FNE. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the flag. Pull receiving flag. How do I do that? If user2 pointing to ISR and because I'm masking user underscore RE, is it RE or RF? Oh, sorry, ISR underscore R. Is it this one? This is the one. Yeah, it's gotta be same as the other one. Yeah. I should have actually specified this here in the lesson. Let's see. Yeah, it's telling me the RX F and E, which is this guy. Yeah, again, it's called RX and E and RX F and E is because to support the micros that have FIFO and the ones that don't have FIFO. Now this flag being set is going to tell me that a character has been received. Okay? Remember, this goes back to what I talked about at the beginning. You configure the peripheral to work at a certain baud rate, whatever, where? In the control registers. Then, how does the peripheral communicate with the program? Through the flags that are in the status registers. So what the program is doing is checking the status of that flag. And it's asking the peripheral, hey, have you received already a character? If that is the case, I read it from the data register, from the received data register, and I put it into here. Okay? Remember, what this is doing is a bit masking. So the only way this condition can be true is that if this register has a 1 on this bit. Which bit is that? Well, I can hover and realize that it's bit what? Who can tell me? Which bit is it? Huh? Somebody said 5. It's bit 5 because it's been shifted by 5. Okay? If you look at the reference manual, you will see that this flag is in the bit 5. Why not? Let's go and check. Yeah, there's a lot going on here, so that's why we gotta get familiarized with this. USART, which chapter is it? 33.
I was gonna guess 7.
I don't expect you to memorize, but that's gonna tell me if you've been reading this often or not. Often enough to memorize it. See, memorizing it is not mandatory, but it's a result of you reading it many times. Okay, where is the ISR here? I cannot find it. 10, thank you for that. RX and E is this guy, is bit 5. Okay? In fact, I think we got another version of this that has the RX with the F or whatever. Yeah, might be this one. Yeah. See, there's an RX and E, and there's an RX F and E. It's because it's for the users that have FIFO and the ones that don't have FIFO. That's why the mask is the same, but both of them are bit 5, so that's why the mask has this weird name. But the important thing is that it's bit 5. Okay? So this is telling me that I received a character. What am I going to do with it? I'm going to send it back. Instead of sending H, I'm going to send it back. So I'm going to do a loop back. Okay? Whatever I receive, I send it back. Let's run this. I'm going to open TerraTerm.
Interesting.
Connected at the default speed, which is 9600, right? So I'm going to increase the font a little bit. And again, I'm going to run this program again just to see the H at the beginning. Okay? Run it. Run it. No H. What the heck? Oh, because it's COM1.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the wrong COM. So I need to go to serial ports and change it to what? COM59 is this one, right?
Yeah.
So run this again. Run it. H. Now I'm going to type Carlos. Oh, crazy. This should clear the flag. Give me a moment. That looks like I got into a loop there. Oh, let me open. What could be happening? I'm gonna open my cheat sheet here, see if I find anything. And why is it sending S after that? It's a weird character, right? Okay, I'm gonna put a breakpoint here.
Have we checked our baud rate?
It's not even going here. I'm gonna type something, and that should go there. Okay. Let's press F10 to see what happens. Data has a C. That is correct. So I received the first character correct. So it's just a problem with transmitting for some reason. It's just
Okey-dokey.
keep sending the, so it's almost like I'm looking at the wrong flag. But the flag is correct. Bit 7, this is bit 7? Yeah. So it's just stuck sending the C over and over and over. Oh. Never mind. Can anybody see what the problem is?
Can you just add that inside the if?
Yeah.
That is an issue, I think.
Well, the problem is like if it's outside, it just keeps sending and sending and sending because at that point the character is already in the data variable and it just keeps sending. So I need to send it only once. Yeah. Okay, so let's clear up this mess. Carlos, Este, now it's working. Now you're gonna say, well, you're just showing what you're typing, right? Looks like it. But here's the thing. TerraTerm does not have a local echo enabled by default. In fact, to enable the local echo, you need to go here, set up terminal, local echo. So what does that mean? It's now going to echo back what you type, the same terminal. See? Why am I seeing it twice?
That's essentially what an echo is. When I say something, it says
Yeah,
the same thing back.
But there are two C's. One is coming from the local echo of the terminal that I just enabled. The other one is coming from the micro. All right? Are we clear about that or not?
Mm-hmm.
No? What part is not clear?
So what is that local?
The local echo is just, because here's the thing. Let's disconnect the micro for a moment. Well, this is going to still run the program, right? Yeah. So let's just disconnect this thing. No longer connected. So now I'm going to type. Did I disable it? No, still. Interesting.
You have to open it again.
Oh, no, it's, you know what? Because the thing is, okay, I need this to be connected to bring up the port. And here's the thing. I'm going to connect to a different port just to show you that. Yeah, because the port now, it doesn't exist anymore. That's why it's not working. So I'm going to do a new connection, and I'm going to connect now to, see, COM59 is no longer here. I'm going to connect to COM1. So COM1 is this guy. It doesn't have anything connected. So if I type, shows nothing. Because by default, this terminal has the local echo disabled. Now, if I go here and I go terminal, local echo enable, so that means that it's going to locally show me what I'm typing. But this is all local. Nothing to do. See, I have nothing on the other end. All right? Now I'm going to do the same thing, connecting to this guy, which is COM59. And it has already the program that it just flashed that echoes back the character. So again, serial ports. I'm going to connect now to COM59 and 9600. And now I type something, but everything I type comes back twice. And why is that? Because one is the local echo from TerraTerm, the other one is this micro sending it back. Okay? Yeah. So now we know how to transmit and we know how to receive. The transmit part is here. The receiving part is here. I'm going to do this again. Oh no, I'm showing the library. Oh, this is the wrong. Just go to my, which one is it? This guy? Oh, I'm showing my, no, but that's, I meant to show that. Okay, user H, user C.
I'll do it on the micro plug in.
Okay, what am I going to do for the receiving part?
Try to pull from the
Well,
Extend32 library.
you know what? I should code the receiving first. This one. Okay, this one, what am I going to put here? PUART. What am I going to put here? Huh?
RX byte.
This one looks a bit different.
So
Data. Now,
Data.
why am I not returning data instead in this function? Well, because I don't know if I've received anything. So what I'm going to do is just put this in here. Now, this is not user2, obviously, right?
no, it's
PUART.
PUART.
If I receive the character,
And then user 2 as well there.
is that correct? Up to that point. No,
No.
because I'm doing a passing by reference. I'm passing the address. In fact, this one should be called pdata to be more self-explanatory. It's a pointer. So if I do this, I'm assigning the data to the pointer, and I don't want that. I want to change the variable that is pointed by the pointer. I want to do that. That is how I do dereferencing. And then, if that was the case, that I did have a character, I'm going to return 1. Otherwise, I'll return 0. Now, if you're a C guy, don't like to do the else here. You just do this. Just to confuse everyone, right? Then it shows that you're a pro programmer because you know C, right?
It still works.
Yeah, but it's just returns before reaching the return 0. Now, can anybody tell me if this looks similar to anything in C#? What is the variable 1 and 0 return being acting as? What is it in reality?
True, false.
It's a Boolean.
Boolean.
Excellent. It's just telling you if you received something or not. So then, whatever you received goes inside by reference. Okay? Can anybody give me an example of something similar in C#?
As in,
Whatever syntax that looks similar to that. There are some functions that whatever you change or get something, you get it in a different variable, but you return true or false.
triparse.
Triparse is an example. And then your result goes in the out. Although that is not quite, because out is not really a passing by reference. It will have to be a ref, but it's similar to this.
Yeah, you go out ref.
So this is acting as a boolean, and the actual change goes in here, but we need to dereference the pointer. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to erase this because I shouldn't be giving you this.
No, it doesn't matter.
But it's being recorded already.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll just blank out that portion. It's a little square there.
Well, you could do a different implementation, right? In fact, I deleted that one. We had you could do something like this. Right? And you could do something like this. But then here's the thing. You could do something like this, right? And then you could bring the structure, you could say, well, what is in the demo? We need to bring the demo. You could do this same structure, right? You could say, well, if there was a character received, right? I like to, even if it's one line, I like to have the curly brackets because it's so easy to add a line and then forget about it. I know that I don't need curly brackets when it's only one line, right? But as a good practice, I always add them. Could I do this instead? And then well, here I have to change this, right? Could I do this?
Performs the same function.
So the function will be simplified, but this one wouldn't be Boolean, it would return the actual character that you received. But what is the problem with this?
You've hard-coded it?
What if I don't receive anything?
Well, then there's a chance that it just never hits your if statement anyways, and then it'll always just return 0.
It will return a null character, right? So which is a bit inconvenient because sometimes you may be receiving something that is a null character. And you need it.
Is 0 a null character?
Yeah. Zero is the ASCII code 0, which is the null character. But here's the thing. We're just starting with this. Later on, you will realize when we learn more about this, that not all the data that gets transmitted over serial is necessarily text. It's not always interpreted as text. Sometimes it could be just raw binary bytes, in which case the 0 could mean something. Okay? But we're not there yet. For now, we're just using characters. But this implementation is very inconvenient and it has flaws. Because if you don't receive anything, it will return 0, meaning that you will receive, it's going to say you received a null character, which is not the case. Then what can you initialize it to? Well, -1, FF, doesn't matter because that's also something in the ASCII table, right? So you cannot really hardcode this thing. Now this implementation, that's why we don't have this. Okay? Clear?
Crystal.
Questions? Okay, we know how to receive, we know how to transmit. I'm not going to do that one, okay? So you figure it out. But the only thing I can tell you, it doesn't even show it here. No.
TX string and byte right there.
Yeah. The only thing I can tell you is the definition of a string is a chain of characters that ends with a null character. So the way you can do this one is do it in a loop and just keep transmitting until you find a null character. But obviously, there has to be some indexing that has to be incremented, right? And I guess I'm gonna add some notes, maybe Simon already has notes, let me see, in the UART parts on Brightspace, because you might be a bit short with definitions for pointers and arrays. Let's see what he has in the UART section. UART notes by Simon. I always add these notes as supplementary. Obviously, he has a different way of approaching the problems that sometimes, if you're used to my style, you may get confused with his, but sometimes his is better for your understanding. It depends on what are you more familiar with. No, he doesn't really talk here about much. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I add some information about pointers and that kind of stuff. Any questions? Not for now? Okay, the assignment for the UART is now coming, and you have the library. All you have to do is code it. And I will release this week the assignment for the UART. You got an assignment for GPIO. And yeah, so for the first exam, it's probably going to be the first 4 assignments. Although we may exclude the UART portion of it. Might be a bit too much. We're going to give you an activity where you're going to work with that little display. Okay, and for that, you're going to have to enable USART1 or any other USART that is not USART2. And that means that your alternate function has to be coded, so you need to hurry up on that. And yeah, I'll give you the activity probably for next class.
Don't we need some sort of converter for this display? Or is
It's
that?
already built in, already has a micro. So it's
perfect.
UART.
Oh,
so it takes
wonderful.
UART commands.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
fact,
because I remember having that issue doing the final project last semester. We had to add a converter
Yeah.
for the
and
segment
that's
display
what
to even work.
yeah, every segment display needs to have a driver. So this thing is already built in, so it's very easy actually to interact with that display.
It only took a couple hours to figure out
Yeah.
why it wasn't
But
working.
you guys have to implement your UART functions first.
Mhm.
Can I give you already the transmit, the receive? That's it.